Inflation down to 6.3% at the end of 2022, down from 8.3% currently. So if you guys weren't aware of it, 2 weeks ago, the Feds raised the rates 0.5 point. And let me tell you, we have felt it on the real estate side of the house. The market is slowing. We're seeing elongated days on market. We're seeing more inventory coming to market. Why? Because sellers are going, uh-oh, I may have missed the window to sell. And so all this new inventory is flooding the market, and we're seeing more and more price discounts because that's what they have to do now to get the property sold. So the Fed's increasing rates is having the desired effect. It's slowing things down a little bit, pumping the brakes on the economy, but with that comes fear and trepidation because we are consumer minded, and if we do not have consumer confidence, we don't spend, and if we don't spend, then businesses don't produce revenue, okay? So because of this, I have heard rumblings that the Feds will not be increasing the rates again this year, because that initial 0.5 point has been so disruptive that they fear doing it again would literally bring the economy to a recession. Now, does anybody know their definition of a recession? Recession, by definition, means what?
2 quarters.
2 quarters of what?
Decline in GDP.
Negative GDP growth, okay? So if we have 2 quarters of negative GDP growth, this word recession starts getting thrown around. And when that starts getting thrown around, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because people in their mind here, uh-oh, we're in a recession. I better spend less, stay in the home I've got, keep driving the car I have, not buy a new one. I probably shouldn't go on that vacation, right? And the economy just comes to a screeching halt. So they're trying to slow things down without creating a recessionary situation. So far it seems to be working. It says this, April brought a sliver of good news on inflation. Consumer prices grew slower than they did in March, an 8.3% rate in April after 8.5% in March. So we're seeing it coming down. How is this going to affect things? Well, banks, this is under the finance column, banks of all sizes will likely benefit from rising interest rates because the difference between what banks pay depositors and what they charge their borrowers, known as their net interest margins, have continued to recover since bottoming out in the second quarter. Does anyone know what a CD is? What's a CD?
Certificate of deposit.
Okay, certificate of deposit. So you can go put $100,000 with your bank, and if you decide to lock it up for 12 months, they'll give you like 0.4 point. If you lock it up for 36 months, they'll give you like 0.6 point. And if you lock it up for 60 months, they'll give you 1.2%. Now, as rates climb, does your CD climb corresponding to the rate? No. So banks are paying you 1.2% to lock up your money for 60 months. Meanwhile, rates have climbed 2.5%. Where does all that profit go? Banks, okay? This is why Warren Buffett is doubling down on his Wells Fargo stock and other bank stocks that he has, because he knows banks' profitability is just gonna go crazy. Anybody looked at your 401k balance recently? Right? Stocks have been tanking hard, and following them is crypto. Ah,